Hey guys, what is up? My name is Megan and welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new. I hope you guys are doing well and staying safe, and welcome to today's video, which is kind of a bonus slash part 2 to my anticipated releases of 2025. As I mentioned, I do have a part 1 to this, which is like an all-encompassing video talking about middle grade romance fantasy releases for the new year. However, in today's video, I want to discuss middle grade sequels that have either been announced or I just completely forgot to mention in that first video, and there's like 8 here and I'm super excited for all of them, so I really wanted to make like a part 2 of this just so you guys can be aware of all the beautiful gems that are coming out. I will be going through them in release dates, and the release dates are for the UK, as I used Waterstones and just like UK authors, different platforms to like create this list. So without further ado, let's hop on in. The first book on my list comes out on February 27th, and that is The Forbidden Atlas, which is the sequel to The Clockwork Conspiracy by Sam Sedgman, who is one of the co-authors of the Adventures on Train series. I have not yet read the first book, but I'm really excited for this, and also I don't know if this is a duology, a trilogy, or 4 or more book series. I don't have that information, but this book series starts out by following this young boy who is the son of the head horologist at the Big Ben, which is a huge clock, and at the beginning of the story our main character's dad goes missing, and so it's up to our main character to follow a set of clues to find his dad. I have never read a book that like heavily features clocks, so I'm interested to see how it will go, but I have no doubt I'm going to love this because Sam Sedgman is such an incredible writer. So very excited for February 27th. The next book on my list comes out on March 27th, and it is the sequel to The Whisperwinks, The Labyrinth of Lost and Found. We are getting The Whisperwinks, The Impossible Trials. The book 1 got a customized like exclusive edition from Waterstones, and they are doing the same thing with book 2, just so you guys know. And essentially the first book in the series follows a young boy who is not a believer in magic. He believes in irrational things until he is like guided to a magical world by this bird and ends up going on a quest to find this young girl's brother. Now, if you are interested in this book series but have not picked up book 1, I'm just letting you guys know it is my January pick for the Sprinkle of Magic book club. So if you want to join the book club, read book 1 in preparation for the release of book 2, you are more than welcome. I will leave the information in the cards and description for you guys. Book number 3 on my list is the sequel to Peregrine Quinn and the Cosmic Realm, and that is Peregrine Quinn and the Mask of Chaos. Peregrine Quinn is a series that is compared to Skandar and the Unicorn Thief and Percy Jackson. It is one of the 12 books on my self-destruct list for 2025, and I'm crossing my fingers I end up reading it in the first like 3 months, depending on the random number generator, so that I can get caught up and read book 2, because I read like 70 pages of that in 2024. And I was loving it. It does have the same vibes as Percy Jackson and Skandar in the sense that like the world building and the storylines and the powers and are like very complex and have the same kind of vibes. This story is about like fixing portals, and it's set within like Olympus, like there are gods and everything involved. I think I'm going to be obsessed, and I really want to get to the sequel when it comes out as well. On May 13th, we have They're Just Desserts, which is the sequel to The Cookie Crumbles by Tracy Badua and Alicia Dow. This is a copy I was sent to review. Unfortunately, I lost all the footage for my review, so I need to start over, but for that I would like to reread it also to prepare myself for the sequel. And I will say that I did get to talk with Alicia Dow, who is one of the co-authors for this, and I absolutely fell in love with that human. She is one of the kindest people I have met. It was so easy to talk to her, even though it was like nerve-wracking to obviously meet an author, and I cannot say enough kind things about them. So I'm just putting that out there. But this is a middle grade mystery series. It is a combination of like Knives Out with a cooking competition, and I just think this is fantastic. Obviously the depictions of food in this are very prevalent because our authors do some baking, and I think that's really cool to have that included in a middle grade, and it does bring a little bit of a twist to it. So obviously the sequel is going to be our main characters solving another mystery. Then On June 5th, I think a lot of people will be excited to know that Green Wild 3 is coming out. For now, there is no title, nor is there a cover. It's just Green Wild 3. If you don't know, the first book in the Green Wild series is kind of like a story of this young girl who runs away from her boarding school, ends up in this kind of like botanical world. There's a cat involved. They have beautiful Waterstones exclusives for the first 2 books, and I know it is a very much like beloved series for a lot of people. I don't know if it's going to be a trilogy or we're getting a bigger middle grade series with this one, but either way, I know it's got a big fan base. A lot of books are now compared to Green Wild, so you guys should be excited for this one. Speaking of books that did get customizations from Waterstones, we also have the 3rd book in the Arcspire series by Jamie Littler. Arcspire is the story of like a thief and then this like mysterious companion. It's set in a magical world. The cover kind of gives like sci-fi dystopian vibes, though I have not read Arcspire yet. I do own the first 2 books. They do have Waterstones customized like sprayed edges, but I don't know much more about the series. However, I did purchase it because Jamie Littler is the author of Frostheart, which was very much like beloved by Gavin at Gavin Reads It All, and I feel like all the community kind of went ahead and read the book on Gavin's recommendation. I was one of them, and I really love how Jamie Littler does characters, so I'm really interested in Arcspire for that reason. But the plot also sounds very different from anything I've read before, and that is what really makes me excited about this series. And then the 2 biggest releases for me of 2025, like all things combined. The first is Skandar 5. We don't have the title or the cover yet, but it is obviously confirmed that Waterstones will be doing a final book to kind of close out the series. If you don't know, Waterstones does some of the most gorgeous editions. They have sprayed edges and like special underneath the dust jackets, and even the paperbacks have beautiful customizations as well. Let me pull one out for you guys. Like, they are all based on the elements in Skandar. So we are getting book 5 with customizations as well. And I'm so sad the series is coming to an end, but obviously like it's also bittersweet because like I'm excited, but it's definitely going to be the end of an era for me, and I don't know how I feel about that yet. But this is releasing on August 28th. And the last book I have to talk about in this video is the sequel to the Chronicles of Weatherwhy, and I owe that all to one of my friends on the Everbloom Discord. I had mentioned that I wanted to do the videos 12 books from like 12 recs from 12 friends, and this person had recommended the Chronicles of Weatherwhy if I hadn't read it yet, and I was like, wait a minute, I'm obsessed. It's my favorite middle grade book of the entire year. I have a review for it. Like, I'm in love with this book. And I didn't think the sequel was coming out in 2025 because Anna James is coming out with Alice with a Y, which I mentioned in my other anticipated reads, but she was like, according to the publisher, book 2 is coming out in the fall of 2025. And so I went back on Waterstones and I did indeed see that there is no title or cover, but the set date for the book is September 11th, 2025. And I'm just like, I would sell my soul for an arc of book 2. Also, the paperback copy of this will be coming out in 2025, and it's beautiful. Like, the tones of colors is a little bit different than the regular hardback. It's also coming out in the US and Canada, I believe, in 2025. I don't think it's out yet. So like, I will shove that book up your throats again when it releases. I'll talk about it more as a reminder, but I do have a full review on my channel and am extremely excited for book 2 because what a beautiful beginning to a series. So those were all the books I wanted to mention to you guys today. Obviously, I think a lot of these series are very popular, so most of you guys may have been aware, but if you missed out on the announcements like me, or are just getting into middle grade and wanted some popular series to like start, I recommend any of those in this video and you can get caught up for the next release. Leave me this emoji if you've made it this far. Let me know which one you're most excited for in the comments, and I'll see you very soon with another video. Bye guys, happy reading.